You basically get to say what you want to, be any way you want to. You get privilege. You don't have to work as hard. You can slack off in jobs and still get promoted and still not have to worry about somebody coming after you. So whiteness to me is about privilege and access to information systems and people and power that you didn't earn.
I went through a time where I was poor and I had to take care of my father, and I worked with about 100 African American men, and I was the only white male on the shop floor. And I was really horrible at this job. It was a metal grinder. I'd grind too much of it. I'd make big indentations. I was constantly messing up, and I was sure I was going to get fired. It was just a matter of time. And about 6 months into the job, the boss and a few of the managers come over. They're all white men. And I thought, this is it. This is the day I'm getting fired. And they came over and told me that they've had their eye on me and they think that I'm management material. I said, what? And they said, yeah, you stick around for a while and we think you've got potential to be a manager here.
And it's one reason I'll tell you, I say why the white man is a snake in the grass. The white man will train you for any kind of job that he wants you to do. He'll train you for any kind of job that the white woman or man will not do. I don't care what it is that the white person won't do. If the black person don't know how to do it, the white man is willing to train you, no matter how much time, how much money he have to spend to do it, because he know the white man or woman is not going to come in there and do it. But he won't train you for the better jobs. He'll save his better jobs, his best paying jobs, for the white.
Well, I know I've had jobs in different places before I started working where I'm working at now, and I had asked my boss once. I was working in a lending supply, and I asked my manager, could I go in the office? And he said, well, I'll see, you know. So I said, okay, fine. He said, so later on, I asked him again about the job. So he said, well, they didn't have any openings in the office. So this was fine, which I knew was wrong, because that's why I had asked for the job. I knew it was an opening there. So a few days later, here is this old white girl. Her hair is straight. Personally, if I had a business, she couldn't even enter the door if it was left up to me. So she gets the job. So the white man, he feels as though he would rather have a white woman, regardless of what she looks like, whether she's ugly or fat or skinny, whatever. He'd rather have her because she's white than to hire a decent, clean, intelligent Negro girl. I finished high school at the age of 17. And at this time, I was qualified, so I thought, for a job in the world. So at this particular time, I had saw the job, and I went down to apply for it. So when I got there, I passed the physical and the written examination. So the guy, after he couldn't find anything wrong with my test, he tells me, he says, well, I don't think that you would enjoy working in this office where they're all white people. And this experience hit me with such a blow, because at 17, I'm thinking the world is in the palm of my hand, you know. So I don't remember till the day how I left that office. It hit me with just that hard of a blow. I go, and when I do come to my senses, I'm sitting on the bus stop, and the guy on the bus opens the door, and he says, lady, what's wrong with you? It was just that obvious that something had really upsetted me, you know. So I walk home in a daze after I get off the bus, and when I get here, all I could do was cry. I just cried.
Oh, simple things. I mean, from everything from the ease of getting a bank loan to knowing that I can drive just about anywhere in the city and not get stopped because of my color by the police.
When I drive down the road and I get pulled over by a police officer, it's probably because either I've broken the law or I'm getting a flat tire and the police officer's going to tell me I'm getting a flat tire.
Well, when I get pulled over, I don't get tickets, you know. I'm a white woman, middle class, in a minivan. I get pulled over all the time for speeding. And it's almost become a joke. And then, you know, the police officers apologized to me for pulling me over, you know. And I know if I was a person of color, you know, that wouldn't happen, you know. I know that I would be pulled over a lot more if I was a person of color because I speed every day. And so I get stopped, they look at my license, and then they let me go, you know?
I've experienced whiteness on the 3 occasions that I've been pulled over by law enforcement driving a car. One time I ran a red light, it was turning red, right? Another time I was speeding, and another time I had a headlight out. And every single time I got off with a warning. I never got a ticket for any of those things. It was privilege and whiteness, therefore, that helped get me off. And I think for the average person, it would be whiteness that would allow me not to even have to think about why. I could get away and thinking, oh, I sweet-talked my way out of that. I did, but I was aided by the fact that I'm white.
They're not gonna do a body check on me. They're not gonna rip my car apart looking for a reason to haul me in. I'm not profiled. That's white privilege.
Younger generation figures that they ought to be able to put their car the way they want to put it. This is the generation that's more demanding and figures they ought to govern themselves instead of this white society governing them. Their cars are low. They're mostly in the younger generation. They're mostly teenagers, your lowriders. This car is different. This car is different because it's low. And maybe it may have some different color paint job, some flashy paint job. He's distinguished from everybody else. He's noticeable. So he catches a lot of harassment by the police. But the white boys can lowride all day long, all of them down the street, and the police won't say nothing. But when the police comes into the ghetto and sees a lowrider, it's always a ticket. It is hard to keep your license because you're watched so closely by the police. And anything that you happen to do, the police is right there looking at it.
This is where most of the laws are broken because on account of economic reasons why they're broken. They're not broken because the people out in the community want to break them. A guy can't come out and he can't say, I can do this and I can do that. No, he got to, John crank his car up out there across the street tomorrow morning. It might smoke like hell. It might have one wheel and one wheel off and one wheel on, but John gonna try to go to work in that car anyhow. Then he drives down the corner, and first thing he do, LAPD busted. Why? Because John got one wheel off and one wheel on. But they would stop and think how much money John making. John making $1.25, $1.50, $1.06 an hour. So how can John afford to put a tire on the car? How can John afford to get a better car?
It's almost impossible to go without getting a ticket in our community because the police harass us so much till they find something. You know, they'll pull us over, they'll check our brakes, they check our tires, they'll see if we're too low, they'll check our windshield wipers, and brake lights, and then they check our dimmer switch to see if our bright lights and things work like that. Any kind of hazard, man, anything they can to give us a ticket.
When a cop stops you, he's gonna check you out for warrants. If there are no warrants, he's gonna come back to your car. He's gonna check out everything on that car. If he can't find anything in that aspect of the car, and there's no warrants and there's nothing wrong with you, you're not wanted for anything, everything is clean, he's going to be very upset.
The majority of us brothers do have records, man, because we get picked up on the weekend, we go to jail, and we might have a job, man. And they'll release you anytime they want to on Monday, man. They release you Monday morning or Monday night. It doesn't make a difference. And when you go back to tell your boss, he asks you where you been, you know, you got a job to do, you know. And you go back and tell him you've been incarcerated for the weekend. And the first thing you do is wonder why and lay you off. And then the next thing you know, you don't have a job. You don't have a job, you're not working nowhere. And they'll And then there you are, back on the streets again. You got to do something.
A black man is forever looking over his shoulder because practically anything we do is considered as wrong in the police's point of view. So we have to watch ourselves very carefully. Whenever I see a police car, I get that feeling of defense or self-defense. This is the feeling I get. I feel like that is the enemy. That is the one who inflicts the pain.